the reception okay? Audio,
Yes.
connection, everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay, you can suggest, guys, what you want to do specifically. Like, we're gonna have our speaking 15 minutes each so that we can finish the from part 1 to part 3. And then what else?
So the fee, we can for the feedback. Uh, can we cover this time, or we can later listen to the recording?
Can you repeat that, Renjith?
Um, if we want to provide any feedback, or if we want to get any feedback, um, I'm not sure how can we do that.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you feedback, guys, and you can give feedback. We can give feedback to each other. Uh,
Oh,
Does that sound good?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
that's it.
Okay. All right. So who wants to start?
Okay.
So
Can I,
it is
can,
yeah.
can you give the question?
Yeah, Anish, I will answer it.
Okay. So I can start with the part 1.
Okay.
Yeah, we all should start from part 1 so that we finish, and each of us should finish from part 1 until you finish the questions in part 3. I'll just grab my
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
timer.
Okay. We all have 15 minutes each for us allocated.
Okay. So first question is, do you often go out in the evenings?
Yes, I frequently go out for the evening because when I finish my work, I need to get refresh my mind as well as my body. So, so definitely a break should be needed after my work. So I usually go out for the evening.
What do you like to do? Okay. What do you like to do when you go out?
Yeah, there are a lot of things I would like to do when I go out for the evening. Sometimes I take my bicycle and go for cycling around 10 kilometers. Otherwise, I will go out with my friends to enjoy with them. Uh, uh, Other than this, I quite often go to the seashore, which is near to my house.
Do you prefer going out on your own or with friends?
I usually go out with my friends because I'm not a person who like to go for a trip alone. So I need to talk with someone. So I usually prefer to go with one of my friends, and because otherwise I will get bored.
Okay. How often do you go out in a week?
Well, in a week, I usually prefer to go out during the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So all other days have work, and so I in the during the weekdays I didn't get enough time to go out. However, during the Saturdays and Sunday, we get a lot of time, and we can have enough time to go if we want to go to a place which is far from home.
Okay. So the last question is, Where do most young people like to go out in your country?
Well, to be specific, in my hometown, the youngsters would like to go to our common playground. So there, a lot of youngsters will gather during the evening, and they usually uh, play different types of games, and some of them will play football, and some of them might be interested in cricket, and all those uh, play games are available in that ground, so that the lot of youngsters also are available there at that time during the evening, so they can definitely play together.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so continue
Yeah.
part two.
Okay. I will send it messenger.
Okay.
Des- Describe a conversation topic you were not interested in. Who you talked with when you
You
had
have
the
sent it.
conversation? Yes, yes. I already sent it your messenger.
Oh, my personal messenger. Right?
Yes,
Okay.
I
yes.
think you sent it to me.
Okay. Got that.
Okay.
Yes, yes. No.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
one too.
it's better to send it in our group chat. Okay.
Okay. Renjith, already I sent it in Rita ma'am also. I sent you Rita ma'am messenger and your messenger
Yeah,
also.
Yeah, you sent it to me too.
yeah, I got that.
Here, like I'm sending it to our group. I think it's there
Okay.
now.
Okay.
You got them? You got. Okay, you got it,
Yes,
Aneesh?
yes.
Renjith?
Yeah, I got that.
Do you need the 1 minute?
Okay.
Okay, your 1 minute starts now.
Okay.
Okay, time is up. Sorry,
Okay.
it's been one.
Okay.
Okay.
So we know we will participate in different conversations, or if we are in our workplace, we need to attend to so many meetings and all. So it's very common that we get participated in a meeting and conversation. Here I would like to talk about one of the conversation which I had with my parents and the family friends on last day. So the discussion was about different things, and first of all, they have discussed about my future plans. So they asked me about the plans which in my mind that I am going to execute in the next coming years. So I have I've told them my plans and also my future career as well as what will be my future education thing and all. So after that, that conversation has completed successfully, and they given me the permission to do whatever I want to do in my future. So that all completed, and then they have switched to another topic which is related to a political matter which has happened some days ago in our hometown. So I normally don't like to listen of these political things, even in my family members or in news channels or even from my friends. So I dislike all those things. So they have started the conversation, and I just left from the group, and I went to my room and started preparing for my future examinations and all to concentrate on my study. So they continued the conversation, and it has been continued for again 1 hour. So after
Time
that,
is up, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Okay, continue with, because the time I set is for 15 minutes. That's why I don't get the, it doesn't
Okay.
set off.
I will check it, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay,
part 3
part
questions.
3.
okay.
What topics do young people in India talk about?
There were a lot of topics which they want to cover nowadays, especially during this pandemic period. Their education is at a standstill, so they want to open their schools as soon as uh, they as soon as possible to continue their education in schools. And another thing they want to know is regarding the vaccination and all, when they will get the 2 dose vaccination. So uh, they are all in all, we can say that they are concerned mainly about their education disruption that has been caused due to this unprecedented pandemic.
Okay. What is the difference between topics that are popular now and topics that were popular in the past?
Well, that's a very good question. And the first of all, the topic is very popular now. Is the introduction of new technologies, and it was not familiar topic in the past. Unlike in the past, there are a lot of innovations happening in technology as well as in all the areas with the help of technology. So youngsters are keenly observing all those uh, technologies, and they are updating updated with all the with the help of resources from internet as well as and other related things. But this knowledge gain will not be found in the past. So I think that is the main change that I could see when we compare the changes, uh, if compare changes in present as well as past.
How do you know if others are not interested in the conversation?
Well, there are a lot of lot of indications they will show when they are not interested in a conversation. For example, um, they will not speak. They should try to be silent for a period of for a long period of time. So, for example, if we take a group of 5 members, and in that group, all the 3 members are silent for most of the time, then we can say that those 3 people are not interested in that conversation, and it needs to be uh, winded up and they should leave. That is their intention. So in that way, they show some indications that they are not interested in the conversation.
So your last question is, what is the influence of modern technology such as internet, emails on our communication?
Well, needless to say, the internet helped a lot in terms of communication. So a lot of innovations has been happened in this communication area. For example, in the workplaces, due to this pandemic, the workplaces have been shifted to their home, and the importance of communication in an organization as well as in a workplace. So with the help of internet and different platforms such as Zoom and Microsoft, the people can communicate their work-related matters, not only their work-related matters, but also the personal things, and all those things can be shared with the help of these types of platforms as well as the service of internet.
Okay.
Okay, so for 15 minutes, that's really a good, time. Now I'm gonna give my feedback, and you guys can give feedback to each other too. So part one, you said for the evening. It was about going out in the evening. I don't know if you were comfortable saying for the evening, because
In the evening.
yes, yeah. And then you said need to get refreshed my mind or something like that. So I think the get there, if you listen to the recording, the get there is not necessary. You can just, I need to refresh my mind. All right?
Yeah.
And the use of otherwise and the use of other than, I could hear that it was not accurately used. Otherwise, it's like when you say, okay, are we gonna practice or not? Otherwise, I have to move on to my other activities. It's like that. So let me know if we practice. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and do my own activity. So that's how you use otherwise. And I think your use there of otherwise wasn't really accurate. I can't remember all of them, the exact words that you said. Also, other than, I'd mentioned this before. Other than, you normally guys, not only you, Renjith, but I know that many of you, it's like it's common that you guys use other than in replacing the word, like in addition. It's like such as, or in addition to that, you use other than. Other than is, you use it like this. For example, someone asks you, okay, how did you feel about the party? And you would say, well, that was too loud, but other than that, it was nice, it was great. It's like no more other reasons except that one, and then it was actually great. So you mentioned something, and then other than that, it was really nice. So you would say, oh, I was tired, but other than that, it was a great party. Okay. It means like there's no more other reason than that I feel that way, because actually I feel the other way. So something, if you want to review. I noticed this, it's very common for those IELTS candidates. Now, Aneesh asked about how often do you go out? I think that was how often do you go out in the evening?
How?
I think that was the question.
Yes.
That was the question, but you did not really answer the how often. You can answer directly like 2 times a week or every day. I go out in the evening for dinner and dinner with my friend, or you would say I go out in the evening once a week. So that's the answer of how often. Or you can say on the average 2 times a week or 3 times a week. But you answered about I like to go out on the weekend because this, and weekdays is kind of busy. I think that was your answer, but you did not answer how often that you
Okay.
go out. Okay, so it's it's also very important to really listen carefully what the question was so that you can answer directly, especially in the questions in part 1, in those part 1 questions. Now for part 2. So I think you know about when you use one of, Renjith, it follows a plural noun.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if you did that when you said about one of the conversation, but this is a common mistake too. And again, the pronunciation of career, you can review that because I heard career instead of career.
Okay.
Actually, it's not even career, it's carrier when you are talking about something you hold for something to carry. So it's carrier, but you meant about profession, so it's supposed to be career. Now, for your part 2, you were supposed to talk about a conversation topic in the past, right? Because it says describe a conversation topic you were not interested in. You were, that's past tense. Who you talked, it's past tense. Who you talked with. When you had, that's a past tense. What the topic was. So, but then you were using present tense. I know this is a common problem. I know I have lots of mistakes also in maintaining the tenses. When I'm talking about the past, sometimes I switch back and forth with the present. So that's something that we need to really watch out. Okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, part 3, you mentioned about pandemic. So pandemic, it's not pandemic. And I know this word, if you are taking exam soon, this word you will use this word like not only one time, but maybe a couple of times, maybe a few times, because we're gonna talk about something that's happening recently or right now, the situation right now. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna use this word. So if you want to improve, you can listen to how it is said on Google. I would say pandemic, not pandemic. Also, when you say, this is common also, I hear this many times, as soon as, as well as. So I heard as well as soon as. It sounds like as soon is one word when you guys say it, because as soon as it's as soon as. So the The accent, the emphasis is in the word soon, or in the as well as, it's the emphasis is in as well as, so as soon as. You can listen how you said it, okay? But
Okay.
I like when you said it was not a familiar topic in the past. I think you were talking about the question about technology. So that
Yeah.
was really nice. It was not a familiar topic in the past. And then, but the thing is, you also said internet had a lot. You were talking about the present, but you used had. But like I said, all of us, we make this mistake. This is a uh, common problem that we face for
Okay.
the non-native speakers. And then you said the workplaces. The article the others was not necessary. You could say workplaces, because when you
Workplace.
say the, it's the definite workplace. It's the work, it's like in the context you already talked about this particular workplace, and then the next time you mention it, you would say the workplace was pleasant, or the workplaces. Normally when it's plural, you don't really use the normally, but you also use sometimes. It depends on the context. Okay, so that's for Renjith. Now it's for Aneesh.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know, what do
Anisha.
you think, Renjith? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand some of my mistakes. Probably
What's
your
your
valuable feedback. So I have noted all these things so that
yeah
I can rectify it in our next conversation. So that you will definitely help me. So I have already noted all these points.
but
Thank you.
yeah, so what's your target score, Renjith?
I need 7.
7. I think you can
Yeah.
really pull off a 7. You don't have any problem. You already speak well. Your pronunciation is clear, and you have a wide range of vocabulary. Although, like I said, there are common problems that we all make mistakes, the same mistakes, which is really, but you wouldn't, if it depends on your target score. But if you can improve
Yeah.
those issues, then it's a lot better, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But when you are there, especially it's gonna be soon, when you are there, don't think about grammars, don't think about how you say it. Just say whatever comes out of the top of your head.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
if you keep thinking, oh, should I use past tense, should I, oh no, it would really affect your fluency. You stop talking, I don't know, all sorts of problems. Just talk freely. Don't bother about correcting. Just whatever you have there, it's what you have. You cannot go back and change it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I understand.
Okay, now
Yeah.
Anish.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's your target
And
score, Anish?
7, ma'am.
7 also? Okay.
What, ma'am? 7, yes.
7? Okay. All right. Are you coming to Canada too? Applying for Canada?
Yes, ma'am.
And what you too? You too, Renjith? Okay.
Both are planned to Canada, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So now continue.
yeah. Okay, Anish, I'll ask some questions in part 1.
Okay.
Which part of your country do most people live in?
Which part of country? Most people,
Which part of your country do most people live in?
in my country, lot of people live in Kerala because most of the populations are in Kerala only compared to other countries, other states. So basically, it's called God's own country. Although there are a lot of populations located in my place, I think more than 6 crore people located in this place.
Okay. Tell me about the main industries there.
I think main interest in everyone focusing their business. They want to improve their self, then they are enjoying uh, their life because no one dependent on others. They want to improve selfly and they are concentrating their career.
Okay. How easy it is to travel around your country?
I think in my country travel, how easy to?
How easy is it to travel around your country?
I think it's very easy to travel around my country. A lot of public transport also available in my country. People are wanted to go one place to another place uh, via private vehicle and also public transport.
Okay. Has your country changed much since you were a child?
Yes, of course, there are a lot of changes in nowadays because in my childhood, in my country, there is not that much population and also there is not much technical field. But nowadays, people are work a lot. They they are concentrating their technological level as well as there are a lot of online platform also available nowadays.
Okay. So I'm just trying to open my camera, but it is not working. One,
Okay.
let me try once again. Yeah, I put it.
I can do it.
So I am sending. Yeah,
Okay, you
I
are.
am sending. Yeah, I am sending the cue card in messenger. Just give it a minute. Yeah, let me about it now.
Good. Describe a well-known person you admire. You should say who this person is, what this person has done, why this person is well-known.
Yeah,
And
your
explain why.
1 minute. Yeah, your 1 minute preparation time starts now.
Okay.
Okay, your 1 minute is up. You can start speaking.
Okay. When you remember one of the well-known person in in my country is not other than his name is Kritik Roshan. He is a very popular actor in our country, and also he did several achievements in our country, and also he 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 has done a lot of films industry. Then he is a very good dancer, and he got Padma Shri award in 2019. So at that time, I realized this person is not only um, the film field, also they do a lot of charity workers like some philanthropic activities. It will help to improve some poor children poor children, and they provide a lot of charity workers uh, to some poverty people to improve their work work schedule. And also he is a very handsome boy. He is following their activities like daily activities. In social media also he provide a lot of information about how to maintain their health, and also how to implement their good views in their life. So I think this person is provide a lot of information about social media. So why I most admire this person is doing a lot of activities in a realistic manner. He is respecting each and everyone, and he is not considered about how other things they can do in others.
Okay, we can move on to the part 3.
Okay.
What kind of people become famous these days?
I think a lot of people famous in our country, especially nowadays. Most of the film stars are famous in our country because they are doing their best activities like some dancing and some fight. It will make him to very popular stage. But one thing I want to tell you about, nowadays a lot of social media applications available in our country like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. So a lot of youngsters are doing some extracurricular activities like singing a song and dance. Then they will put that social media. Sometimes it will reflects very popular in some extent.
Okay. How do you think people become famous in the future?
People become famous in future like who has been achieved their career, and also who will deliberately expose their talent in own public. That are the people. Those are the people are become very famous because there are a lot of arts are creating a people. Uh, Not only the physical activities, like what are the mental activities are people are doing, that people are very famous will in future.
Okay. What are the good things about being famous? Are there any disadvantages you can mention?
I think philanthropic activities is the most famous activities in all over the world, because who has been helping other people, that people are very famous in nowadays. For instance, on famous film actor like Sonu Sood, he is a Hindi film actor. He plays an important role in child workers, and they give a lot of revenue for the government in this pandemic situation. to create a good budget in government, and also they will provide free medical services in for other people.
Okay. How does the media in your country treat famous people?
Media will treat a lot with famous people because people are become in initial stage of famous level. Media will put a lot of effort to that famous person to improve their career, and also they will upload regularly that specific person activities, like some film activities. Then what are the things that person will do, what are the good things that person will do, they will upload it in some social platform. And also media will create continuous that kind of optimistic view about that particular person. It will help to that person become famous.
Renjith, can you repeat that question, please? What's the question?
How does the media in your country treat famous people?
How does the media treat?
How does the media in your country treat famous people?
Yeah, treat famous people. Treat like Treat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Aneesh, I have noted down some points, so I will give you a quick overview of that. So in part one, you have said about the word populations. Populations. So you have added an S at the end of population. So I think that is not needed. So population itself is a product. We don't want to add S.
Okay.
And then you have in part two you have said in a sentence like done a lot of films. He has done a lot of films. So are you able to rephrase that thing?
He has done
a lot of films. You said like that. He has done a lot of films. Okay. Instead of done a lot of films, can we rephrase it in another sentence?
Okay.
Like he has acted in a lot of films.
He has acted in a lot of films.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then in Q card, you said like poverty people. I think you maybe you maybe intended like poor people or the people who face poverty. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have that. That's Q. Filter. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Renjith.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Aneesh, I worry about I always mention this to you about people are wanted. You say that a lot, and like people are become, this mistake is not only a slip. You really have to work on this because you keep repeating. It's not repeating the same word, but you keep doing like combining people are wanted instead of saying people wanted or people want. You say people are wanted. That's not correct when it comes to using your verbs. And people are become. So, and if you keep doing that, the examiner understands that you don't really know you don't really know the principles in verb tenses or using your verbs. If you do that like only one time and the next time you say in your sentence it's correct, instead of saying one people are wanted, you would say people want or people wanted, then the examiner understands that the previous one was just a slip. But actually you have a good knowledge of your grammar. I don't know, what do you say about that, Renjith?
Yeah.
What do you
So
think?
people are.
Yeah.
So we need to use the ing form. So
Instead of saying, for example, Aneesh wants to say, the people want to go there. He would say, the people are want to go there. That's how he does it. And I noticed that he does it in different pairs of words. Let's say he would say, the children are go there. For example, he would say, the city is become crowded. He would say that. It's just an example. I'm not talking about exactly what he says, but just the using of are and want and is and go. They're not correct.
Okay.
You can listen to the recording what I meant. This is what I want you to work on, because you will be marked down really big time. Okay.
Okay.
And also, when you answered the question in part 3 about what is the disadvantage of being famous, you did not really answer the question. You were talking about philanthropic activities that can make you famous, and it's good, but the point of the question is the disadvantage. Okay, I'll give you an idea. What is the disadvantage of being famous? Maybe you can say you feel that when you are famous, you feel that you are not safe. You have to hire lots of bodyguards because most people are after to destroy you or to rob you, maybe kidnap your kids for ransom because you're famous and you have money to pay them. Or you are not safe. Okay, let's say your privacy, people would intrude your privacy. That's the disadvantage. But you can mention only one, like you don't feel safe with your life, to answer it directly. Okay, who wants to ask me questions? Can you start with, do you study or do you work, for part 1, and then proceed with more questions?
okay. We can go with part 1. Are you work or study?
I do work, and I've been working as a teacher online throughout school.
Okay. Where is your accommodation?
I live in an apartment. It's in a high-rise building, and I have a beautiful view when I look through my window.
Okay. Is there anything you dislike your work?
No, actually, I can't think of anything that I dislike about my work. I think I like every bit of it. Yeah, that's.
Okay. Then we can ask some questions related to the friends. Are your friends mostly your age or different ages?
I have friends in different ages. I have younger friends like teenagers, and I have also older friends like adults.
Okay. Do you usually see your friends during the week or weekends?
Most of the time, I see them on the weekends. It's because they are all busy during the week, and we only have time to get together on the weekend.
Okay. Last time you saw your friends, what did you do together?
Oh, the last time I saw my friend, actually, it was this morning, and we had coffee together. There were five of us, and that was really fun.
Okay. In what ways are your friends important to you?
They are important to me in many ways, but one of the things that I can say they are important is they are good for my mental health. I laugh with them, and when I'm upset, they are there for me.
Okay, that's the end of part one. And I have sent the cue cards.
Okay. All right, cue card.
Describe an interesting historic place. You should say what it is, where it is located, and what you can see there now, and describe why this place is interesting.
Okay, you can start my 1 minute preparation now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, time is up. You can start speak now. Yep.
Okay, over the years, I've been to many historic and interesting places, especially when I came to Canada in 2007. But if I have to talk about one interesting historic place, it will be the place that's called Rideau Canal. Rideau Canal is very close to where I live, and where I live, this is called the Golden Triangle. It's a high-end area in the downtown Ottawa. And what is really interesting too is that Rideau Canal is just 5 minute walk from my apartment. And I can see every time I go there, I like to go out for a walk every day, or if not, but at least regularly, I go out for my walking exercise. And I go to that direction because I can see the refreshing atmosphere while walking along the canal. I can see people in the summer. I see people kayaking, and also people who are just there spreading their mat for on the grass, and they just have some picnic, and that's what you see. And sometimes I go there sitting in one of those benches and just look at the nice scenery with all those trees. And during autumn, it's really spectacular because you will see different colors of those trees, those leaves actually. And when those leaves become like fiery yellow and bright red, they are really, ew. There were still lots of things that I want to say about why it is interesting. But
historic importance.
yeah, but it's like you cannot judge how long you are already speaking. And if you also speak fast, I don't want it. I've written a note there here why it is historic, and it's really a nice story. Anyways. Okay. Okay, can I speak? Can I just speak? Anyways, this is just a practice. I want to really talk about why it is historic.
Yeah.
Okay, one day I asked my husband why, because this canal also is called, when you read in many articles, it is always called a historic Rideau Canal. So one day I asked my husband and I said, why is it called historic? And my husband said, oh, it's because it was built more than 100 years ago, and it was built by bare hands by some immigrants. And that's really interesting to me, because how could you build, construct a canal with bare hands? Also, there was a story that when Canadians got into war with the Americans, that was also a surprise to me, because I thought like Canadians and Americans were allies. And now I heard that from my husband that they were in war about 100 years ago. And the Rideau Canal was constructed so that the Canadians could escape not going through the St. Lawrence River, because that's where the Americans were waiting for them to attack them. So the Rideau Canal was an escape route for the Canadians. That's the history. Anyways, I didn't like it. Anyways, okay. Continue, Renjith. Thank you for being patient with me.
Is it true, ma'am?
It is true, yes. That's why I was excited to talk about that, because that was the
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Three questions. How do people in your country feel about protecting historic places?
Can you repeat, please, Renjith? How?
How do people in your country feel about protecting historical places?
Most of the people are in favor of protecting those historic places. It's because it reminds them of the interesting history of the origin of the place. For example, here in Ottawa, we have lots of heritage building, and every time people pass by, they would ask, why is it called heritage building? And the other person would but in saying that, oh, because there was a Russian spy like 100 years ago who hid in that building, and nobody really knew that he was there. He was there for many years and nobody really noticed. So those kind of stories, people would love to protect those historical places.
What do you think will happen to historic places or buildings in the future? Why?
Well, I I would say that though some of those historical places will be destroyed. One of the things that would lead them to be uh, removed, for example, would be the how do you call that, the building itself. It would not last longer. It would, the bricks will crumble. uh, so the government will just decide to bomb it. I remember a few years back that there was a very nice building not very far from where I live, that the Canadian government decided to bomb the building because it wasn't habitable anymore, and it would endanger people if they go in there, because the walls were not strong anymore to protect the roofs, things like that. So they decided to just um, to bomb it.
Okay. How were you taught history when you were at school?
Uh, I remember when I was in my high school, we were taught history in a way that it would really affect our emotion. I remember back in the Philippines, we were learning about our national hero, and he was called a national hero for a very interesting reason. Uh, he really he he saved a lot of people from oppression. And what he did, he wasn't like trying to endanger his life or trying to say, okay, you can kill me, but don't touch these people. But in one of his books, he said that pen is more powerful than a sword. That's what he did. He wrote a lot of articles to tell the government to stop the oppression, and to tell the people that were oppressed to speak out. And that was really, it had a good effect. I mean, when we were taught with this kind of background of our national hero, we were all like affected emotionally. So that's how we were taught. The teacher would appeal to our emotion.
Okay. Do you think history will be a school subject in the future? Why?
I don't know. It's just hard to tell. Some people, they love history because it's really interesting for them. I know that I myself, I love to learn the background of a city, for example, what happened, why is it there, and uh, let's say there is a story about a train station that somebody or the people constructed that train station out of, I don't know, interesting reason. Uh, yeah, but I don't know. Many people also want to have everything modern, like buildings, they build new infrastructures through modern technology. Uh, so it's just maybe 50-50. I don't know. It's not imminent for me. I don't see it on the horizon that history will stay. But on the other hand, it's also nice to have a history to look back and to teach us some lessons.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, whoo, I don't know. It's just hard to keep up all those questions. It's so stressful. So you can give me some feedback. How did I do?
To be honest, I didn't try to find out the mistakes, but I am just like to listen the ideas and all, the the collocations as well as the vocabularies.
Oh.
It was very nice.
This sentence making also that
Yeah.
story is going nicely.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if you remember Arco, that was his comment too. And now, because I don't feel that to myself the way I speak, but when you comment about ideas, that I've got lots of interesting ideas when I speak, I feel like, yeah, maybe it's true, because when I took my exam, I got 7.5, and I didn't even know about IELTS at that time. Of course, before I went to my test, it's like you go in your car, you check first before you drive, right? But that's all I did. It was just a normal thing to check. Okay, this is IELTS. What's the meaning of IELTS? Why it's called IELTS? That's all I did to prepare for my test. But I got 7.5 for my speaking, so maybe now I can agree with you guys that maybe I have ideas. But I like to tell stories, so maybe that's the reason why I got 7.5. And I know my grammar was like all over the place. I didn't know that I had to watch my past tense and present tense switching back and forth, and I'm pretty sure I did a lot of mistakes when it comes to, and I couldn't even think of a word that I wanted to say. I paused, and this is also something. Okay, I'll tell you guys. I stopped for my cue card. I stopped before my time. Can you believe that? And then I saw my examiner. He gestured to me something like, but he couldn't speak, right? Because it was recorded. He couldn't say like continue.
Yeah.
But I could tell from his gesture that he was telling me continue. And I didn't understand at first, and then eventually I understood, and okay, I talked again, because I kind of concluded my speech for my thinking that it was over, but I didn't realize that I forgot that my examiner said I will tell you when to stop, and I stopped because I said, okay, that's it, that's all I could say. But then when I realized that, okay, when I started to talk again, then it was finished, and then he said, okay, your time is up. So I could only maybe say one more sentence after he gestured to continue. And I didn't, yeah. And then now when I look back, I said to myself, when I hear you guys saying, like Arco, he said that he got only six for his speaking, and he speaks well. I really admire how he speaks, because he got this, he gets this, he has this ideas, not ideas, but like words, vocabulary, the expressions, phrases, and they are really good. And he said that he got only, and his pronunciation is not bad either.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like now when you say that about my ideas, so maybe that was the reason, because I was direct to the point when I answered those questions. Like when I did my cue card, I was telling a story, because he said, describe something very important to you that, something very important to you, something like that. And then the bullet points, what it is, when did you get it, and what do you use it for. So that was my cue card. And I told a story about a friend giving me this top. I was talking about my top, that my friend went to LA and said, okay, I'm going to LA for a holiday. I will go shopping. Do you want me to buy something for you? I was telling a story like that. So I think that was for the examiner. It was interesting and it was easy to follow because it was a story I was telling him, even though I stopped. And I thought it was okay. I'm done with 2 minutes. But you know now, because that's why I'm really practicing so hard, because I'm aiming for 9. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys that I'm aiming for a 9, but I know it's impossible. But if I'll get a 7, I will be very happy. Although I would say, oh, what
Yeah, it's so
happened?
positive.
Sorry?
Yeah, we can definitely achieve that.
Yeah. I hope. It would be very sad if I will get 6.5. I've been training, I've been practicing for close to 2 years now to improve my speaking. And then when for example, if I'll take the test and I'll get a 6.5, that would be really, yeah. And to think that I got a 7.5 2 years ago without practicing. Okay, I think that's about it. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too because it's already more than an hour. I was only
Yeah.
Trying to stay for an hour. That's okay. So we'll do it again tomorrow. Okay. If
Yeah, I
you
need to continue on working.
yeah, just let me know if something comes up and you can't do it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we can do tomorrow and Sunday, so we have enough time.
Okay. So the same time if it's convenient for you guys. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So have a good night, guys. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye, YouTube.